Come on
Just
over.
just this last thing,
Come on over, Ricky.
Floyd. You want to go down as one of the best or the best fighters around. The best fighters have always taken on all the challenges out there.
Then can somebody please tell Triple G that? Because I don't remember Larry Merchant having this speech for him. This is Larry Merchant, the same guy who I showed you in part one and part two, broke down Arturo Gotti's career and openly admitted that he fought a whole bunch of nobodies, got paid great for it, and he's eventually going to lose one day. So why not take a big payday out against Floyd Mayweather? Here, Larry Merchant is again. Please notice how they drill it to Floyd. As soon as he get done, well, you know, to be a great fighter, the great fighters have always taken on all challenges. Okay, great fighters have always taken on all challenges. Then what happened to Andre Ward and Triple G fight? What happened to that? What happened to that? So on top of, he put no pressure on Arturo Gatti. He was well aware he was fighting bums, and that not at one time on HBO did you see Larry Merchant walk up to Arturo Gatti and say, look, Arturo, to be one of the best have always taken on all challenges. Blase speech, but there was no speech for Arturo Gatti like that. Just like there wasn't no speech for Triple G. If all good fighters take on all challenges, right? If all good fighters take on all good challenges, then Triple G should have fought Andre Ward. Andre Ward should not have to move up to fight Kovalev. Matter of fact, he went up to fight Kovalev because he could not get a Triple G fight. And once again, what was Triple G saying? People don't deserve a shot. Charlo don't deserve a shot. Ward don't deserve a shot. But Dominique Wade got a shot. I'll digress.
Well,
Like a Cotto or a Vernon Forrest or a Winky Wright, whoever
Listen,
is out there, so that you can do your thing.
I've
again.
done what I had to do in this sport. 6-time world champion, 5 different weight class, 20 championship fights. I fought the best from all over the world, from De La Hoya to Ricky Hatton, and the list goes on and on. I have nothing else to prove to the world.
Okay, so the first category that we are going to get into is ducking. So everybody loves to talk about, right? Ducking. Floyd Mayweather ducked this. Floyd Mayweather ducked that. Okay. And to make sure that people don't get it confused what I'm doing, I'm just going to mention who you say that he ducked with no defense, right? There'll be no defending him whatsoever. I'm just going to let you know that I know all your bullet points and all the problems that you have with Mayweather. Then I'm going to take what you say. Then I'm going to give you an exact duplication of the same thing you complain about with Mayweather and show you how you could not recognize it in any other individual. Is that good enough? Is that fair enough? Because I don't want to be set up here defending stuff. I'm just going to accept everything that y'all say. So to make sure that I got everything razor point and make sure that I'm caught up and make sure I got everything, correct me if I'm wrong. You think he ducked a prime Manny Pacquiao? You guys think he ducked a Laura? You guys think he ducked a Paul Williams, and you guys say he ducked a Keith Thurman. Am I correct? I'm pretty sure it could be some more, but those are the primaries, right? Am I right? I think I am, okay? Since I don't have enough time to run through all these guys, I'm just going to pick the one that I think people care about the most. Floyd Mayweather ducked a prime Pacquiao, right? Because even if you do get some people to admit that he beat Pacquiao, the excuse after that, well, he didn't fight Pacquiao in his prime. Am I correct? I'm right, right? Well, the first thing I'm going to do is address this prime thing. Number one, simply, Floyd Mayweather is older than Manny Pacquiao. And I've been saying this forever, man. All the people that they say, Cotto, this person, that he fought out of their prime, he's older than them. He's older than them. Okay? So we can shut down that prime thing. We can shut that down right now. Because one thing you never care about, you never cared about anybody fighting Mayweather out of his prime. Matter of fact, if a young gun beats Mayweather right now, none of you will say, well, he didn't fight Mayweather in his prime. You guys will take that victory. Don't lie to yourself. You know it's true. You know it's true. All right? So we just destroyed that whole fighting people in their prime thing. He's older than Manny Pacquiao, just like he was older than Cotto. So who else do you got? I think we can move on now. So let's get back to not fighting a prime Manny Pacquiao. You know what I'm saying? He waited and aged Manny Pacquiao out, right? Okay. And I'm finna prove right here, right now, just like I have done on several other videos. I'm going to prove right now that the reason why the fight did not happen on time was because of Manny Pacquiao. And when we get done, we'll see if you'll have that same energy towards Manny Pacquiao. Because the person that's going to reveal to you that they are the reason that the fight was delayed will be Manny Pacquiao.
We haven't heard it from your voice as of yet. Why did that fight fall apart?
I think there's a lot of, Floyd reason. That's why the fight is canceled. And what I believe is Floyd, he doesn't want the fight.
Manny, there was a lot of negotiation with the type of blood testing that would be for that fight. A lot of fans are wondering, why not submit to WADA-style testing? Why wouldn't you do that?
Not the day of the fight, because it's going to be affected of my condition. I will admit blood testing before and after the fight, but not the day of the fight.
Now keep in mind, he did not want to take the drug test because he did not want to take a test on the day of the fight. Okay, keep that in mind. Keep going.
Not the day of the fight, because it's going to be affected of my condition. I will admit blood testing before and after the fight, but not the day of the fight.
Now he just said, I will admit blood testing before and after the fight, but not the day of the fight. Now listen to what he says next.
Floyd Mayweather said 14 days before the fight to the fight. Like, you wouldn't get tested that day of the fight, but a full 2 weeks before you couldn't be tested. What about 15 days before the fight? That would still bother you?
15 days before the fight, I'm in heavy training, and it's gonna be affect to my heavy training on that time, and I think it's not good to have to do a blood testing on that date, because 15 days before the fight it's gonna be heavy training.
Now you just gotta tell me, do y'all want to play dumb? Okay. What the subject is about is why the fight didn't happen on time. He asked Manny Pacquiao why the fight didn't happen on time, and he said because of the drug testing, because I don't want to take a drug test the day of the fight. I will take a drug test before and after the fight, but not the day of the fight. Okay? He turns around and say, well, Mayweather said you don't have to take a drug test on the day of the fight. What about 15 days out into the fight? No, I'm in hippie training. He just said in the last clip, I will take a drug test before and after the fight, but not during the fight. Then when he said, hold up, but we tried to get you tested 2 weeks out into the fight and you couldn't get that tested either. So why won't you take a drug test before the fight now? He said, oh, that's because, I'm in hippie training. And you can't take blood in hippie training. First, let me tell you, nobody takes blood from a fighter on the day of the fight. Only after the fight will you get a drug test. But nobody's going to take your blood before you go to fight. It will be after the fight. Okay? Like I said, y'all can play dumb if you want to.
To WADA-style testing. Why wouldn't you do that?
Not the day of the fight, because it's going to be affected of my condition.
14 days before the fight to the fight. Like, you wouldn't get tested that day of the fight, but a full 2 weeks before you couldn't be tested. What about 15 days before the fight? That would still bother you?
To do blood testing on that date, because 15 days before the fight it's going to be heavy training.
What?
I will admit blood testing before and after the fight, but not the day of the fight.
14 days before the fight to the fight. Like, you wouldn't get tested that day of the fight, but a full 2 weeks before you couldn't be tested. What about 15 days before the fight? That would still bother you?
15 days before the fight, I'm in heavy training.
You're an American, right?
Yeah.
I'm an American. I was in the Olympics. I represent the red, white, and blue. You know what the American rights should say? Well, why is this guy that's from another country who come over here and make money and take it back to his country? But once again, I'm feeding American citizens every day. All I ask is give a little blood, give a little urine. That's a crime.
The only thing that's a crime to them in their eyes is Floyd Mayweather's pigmentation. Because here it is. Not only do you have Manny Pacquiao's trainer, Freddie Roach, said he used steroids. Manny Pacquiao's strength and conditioning coach, Alec Ariza, said he used steroids. And you just seen the video with your own eyes and ears and seen how he contradicted himself and showed you the reason why the fight didn't happen, because Manny Pacquiao did not want to take a drug test the day of the fight, before the fight, or after the fight. Before that, it was Manny Pacquiao was scared of needles. Remember that? But the funny thing is, Manny Pacquiao didn't have a hard time getting a tattoo. Y'all is busted, man. Busted out the seams. Ain't nowhere to run. The most that you could do is thumbs down this video. But as far as having a rebuttal in the comment section, I love to see it. Bruce Vane, I'm out.